I watched hundreds of hours of college basketball this season, so you didn't have to. If you could hear the analysts from CBS behind me, you'd hear them picking Yale to beat Texas A&M. Obviously, there's no way to really know who's going to win these games. With that being said, Yale is definitely beating Texas A&M. Okay, I'm partially kidding, but if you look at this matchup, I like a lot of things that Yale has going for him. And one player that I particularly like runs the show for Yale, and his name is Bez Mbang. He's a two-time Defensive Player of the Year, and he's the Ivy League Player of the Year this year, and that's who's going to be matching up on Wade Taylor. As you can see from this clip, Bez is super comfortable handling pressure. He's also crafty with the ball and can find some cool ways to score. But most importantly, Bez is really good at getting steals, and he averages 2 a game. So much of college basketball is predicated on who controls the pace of the game, and I think Mbang is a formidable opponent to Wade Taylor, who's definitely going to want to speed up the game and make it chaotic. Now, I'm not going to pretend like Wade Taylor is not a nice player, because he certainly is, but he's very turnover prone and can be quite sloppy with the ball. But it's not just the point guard matchup. Texas A&M is number 1 in the country in offensive rebounding, which obviously is a great stat, but the best way to get an offensive rebound is by missing a shot. A&M shoots just 31% from beyond the arc, which is 317th in the country. Yale, on the other hand, doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but when they take them, they make them. They're shooting 38.5%, which is good enough to be top 10 in the country. And I could probably make an entire video on Polakidis, who's shooting over 40% from beyond the arc, and watch out if he gets hot. The Aggies have been able to get wins by crashing the offensive glass, but Yale's a good rebounding team in their own right, and they're actually 13th in the country in defensive rebounding. And I get it, rebounding in the Ivy League compared to rebounding in the SEC is a different thing, but I think Yale is good enough at defensive rebounding to kind of stifle one of A&M's main advantages. This Texas A&M team really thrives in chaos, and when the ball is bouncing all over the place, they seem to find a way to be able to gain the possession and turn it into an advantageous situation. On defense, Yale really likes to pack it in, and they do give up open looks from the outside, but I don't think these are open looks that A&M is going to take advantage of based on their shooting percentages. Also, Yale has a bunch of really cerebral offensive players, and they all pose different matchup problems, and that's why they ran through the Ivy League like they did. Look at this offensive possession from the Ivy League championship. There's some screen-to-screener action, and there's some interesting things going on offensively that are going to require discipline and patience from the Aggies. And you can see even when they get a good look, they still have a little bit more patience, and Simmons ends up driving to the hoop and getting the N1. When I talked about matchup problems, one of the guys I was thinking about is Nick Townsend. He doesn't take a lot of threes, but when he does, he hits at 49%. He's comfortable grabbing a board and turning and running with it, and you can see he gets the coast-to-coast finish here. He's also able to post up with his back to the basket and facilitate offense from that spot, and he finds a guy for a layup here. So look for Yale to go under screens and pack it in on defense and force Texas A&M to make shots, and I'm going to take the ball secure, high assist to turnover ratio, high percentage shooting team to take down the Aggies in round 1.